Good morning, and welcome to our Sunday morning forum. We hold this forum each Sunday morning at 9:30 a.m. at Fellowship Bible Church, Middleburg, Florida. Welcome. We will begin this week's study once again in Philadelphia, looking at the church in Philadelphia, beginning with verse 9, and hopefully we'll get all the way through to verse 10. Pay attention now as you listen to 9 and 10.
Indeed, I will make those of the synagogue of Satan, who say they are Jews and are not, but lie. Indeed, I will make them come and worship before your feet, and to know that I have loved you. Because you have kept my command to persevere, I also will keep you from the hour of trial which shall come upon the whole world, to test those who dwell on the earth.
In the opening phrase of verse 9, we observe Jesus addressing a specific group of persecutors. He refers to them as those of the synagogue of Satan. Here, the term Satan, derived from the Greek Satanas, is employed to depict the adversary of God and Jesus. The word synagogue, originating from the Greek synagoge, is used to describe the assembly of Jewish individuals who were engaged in evil acts of persecution. It appears that the Christian community in Philadelphia was subject to persecution by a group of Jewish individuals referred to here as the synagogue. However, these persecutors were merely Jews in name, claiming to be Jews but lacking any genuine spiritual connection to Abraham or the faithful community. In this context, it is crucial to understand that Jesus was not condemning all Jewish individuals. It would be entirely incorrect to label the entire Jewish population as the synagogue of Satan, or as those who falsely claim to be Jews. Jesus was specifically referring to a particular group of Jewish individuals in Philadelphia who were responsible for persecuting Christians during that time period. This narrative underscores the distinction between those who merely claim a religious identity and those who truly embody the spiritual value of their faith. In the latter part of verse 9, Jesus makes a profound promise. He assures his followers that he will vindicate them, compelling their persecutors to acknowledge their wrongdoing and recognize the righteousness of Jesus and his followers. This promise speaks to a vindication in the face of self-righteous spiritual persecutors. God had made a promise to the church in Philadelphia that they would be vindicated before their persecutors. This echoes a promise God made to Israel that Gentiles would honor them and acknowledge their God as stated in Isaiah 45:14. However, the situation had somewhat reversed. These Jewish individuals were now expected to play the role of heathen and acknowledge that the church is the Israel of God. Play the role of the heathen and acknowledge that the church is the Israel of God, as Mounce put it. The narrative is further supported by 1 Corinthians 14:24 through 25, which describes unbelievers falling down amidst Christians to worship God. This clarifies that it was not the Christians who were being worshipped, but rather God was being worshipped in the presence of Christians. This serves as a powerful testament to the divine vindication promised by Jesus. Reverend Guzik comments on the last phrase, "And I know that I have loved you," of verse 9.
As those who were once their enemies worshipped alongside them, they were destroyed as enemies. They now knew that Jesus had loved these people they once persecuted. The best way to destroy the enemies of the gospel is to pray that God would change them into friends. Persecuted people often long for justice against their persecutors. Revelation 6:10. Jesus also promised them protection from the hour of trial coming on the whole world.
In the first part of verse 10, Jesus makes a promise. "I will keep you from the hour of trial, which shall come upon the whole world." This hour of trial is seen by most biblical scholars as a prophetic reference to the messianic woes or great tribulation, which is said to precede Jesus' earthly. However, the Great Tribulation is believed to occur after the church has been gathered up to Christ Jesus. The phrase, "keep you from the hour of trial," has sparked debate among scholars. Does it suggest an escape before the Great Tribulation? Or does it promise protection during it? Both interpretations find support in this passage. As I have stated, and it bears repeating, believers will be gathered together and meet Jesus in the air before the Great Tribulation. Those who believe that the church will remain on earth during the Great Tribulation focus on Jesus' command to persevere. They argue that the context demands this be seen as a promise of protection that enables the faithful to endure this period. The next phrase in verse 10, "to test those who dwell on the earth," is a significant one. It refers to a test that is specifically aimed at those who inhabit the earth. This phrase appears 9 times in the book of Revelation and is used to denote those who have not found salvation in Jesus. Revelation 17:8 equates this term with the lost, stating, "And those who dwell on the earth will marvel, whose names are not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world." This test, therefore, is intended for unbelievers, not Christians. As Johnson interprets it, quote, "Those who dwell on the earth," end quote, are not believers, but unbelievers, who are the targets of God's wrath throughout Revelation. Christians, however, are distinct. While they may walk on the earth, their true dwelling place is in heaven. They have been seated in the heavenly places in Jesus, as stated in Ephesians chapter 2, verse 6. They do not dwell on the earth. Their life is hidden in Jesus, as per Colossians 3:3. This narrative underscores the spiritual distinction between the believers and the non-believers and the divine tests they each face. This will conclude this week's study, the Church of Phildephia. Stay tuned. Next week, we'll look at a lukewarm church. The church is called the Church of Laodicea. I hope to see you then. Until then, God bless.